Your Excellency, President Cyril Ramaphosa, President of South Africa, distinguished senior officials present here, members of the press. It is a profound honor to stand here today in South Africa, a land that has given the world enduring lessons in courage, sacrifice, and the indomitable power of human spirit. South Africa is living proof of what becomes possible when people refuse to be defined by injustice and instead choose to be defined by their greatest aspirations. The world watched in awe as this nation dismantled apartheid and built something more lasting in its place. A constitutional democracy grounded in dignity, human rights, and in the equal worth of every person. I thank you, Mr. President, and the people of South Africa for the warm welcome and generous hospitality extended to me and my delegation. It speaks to the character of a nation that has always understood the spirit and meaning of Ubuntu. This state visit is both a celebration of how far we have come and a frank conversation about how much further we must go and how much faster we must move. In that spirit, President Ramaphosa and I held bilateral talks this morning, reviewing the state of our relations and agreeing on concrete measures to deepen and further our cooperation. We met at a moment when the world order is shifting, when what was once certain is now in doubt, when multilateral institutions are being questioned, and when Africa's role in shaping global outcomes has never been more consequential or more contested. This is precisely the moment that demands African unity, African clarity, and African solidarity. I commend President Ramaphosa for South Africa's outstanding leadership during the G20 presidency from December 2024 to November 2025. Mr. President, you used that platform to do exactly what was required: to center Africa's development priorities, to press for reforms of the international financial architecture, international financial governance, and to ensure that the Global South was given the weight it deserves. Today, Kenya and South Africa stand together in advocating a reimagined global order, one built not without Africa, but with Africa fully represented, fully engaged, and at the center of it. We are not asking to be admitted to someone else's architecture. We are asserting our rightful place among the architects of the new global order. Our two nations have never been strangers to each other's struggles. Long before our high commissions opened in 1994, the year of South Africa's democratic rebirth, we were bound by the shared experience of colonialism, by the solidarity of our liberation movements, and by the common dream of an Africa that governs itself, feeds itself, and speaks for itself. Over 3 decades, we have built one of the most impactful partnerships on the continent, grounded in mutual respect, shared values, and a common vision for the prosperity of our people. That partnership was institutionalized through the Joint Commission for Cooperation in 2007, and today we have directed that the second session of the JCC convenes as scheduled following this visit. We further welcome the ongoing work to elevate the Commission into a strategic partnership framework, a stronger, more comprehensive for the years to come. As a statement to our growing ties, we have today witnessed the signing of 6 instruments on trade facilitation through cooperation in standards, regulation, and metrology, on shipping and maritime cooperation, and on partnerships in gender equality and women's empowerment, technical and vocational education, arts and heritage, and sports and recreation. On trade and investment, we noted with satisfaction the upward trajectory of our bilateral trade, which grew from US $590 million in 2024 to $650 million in 2025, an increase of $60 million or more than 10% in a single year. This momentum must not only be sustained, but we must also accelerate. We acknowledge that real obstacles still remain, including tariff and non-tariff barriers, limited market access, and regulatory constraints. We therefore directed our trade ministers to dismantle these barriers by fully implementing the directives of the 7th Joint Technical Committee and Trade Committee. We further agreed to harness the Tripartite Alliance and the Africa Continental Free Trade Area to expand access, reduce costs, and unlock the full promise of intra-African trade. Ladies and gentlemen, we took stock too of robust investment flows over the past 5 years, with enterprises from both countries now present across banking, telecommunication, fintech, logistics, education, aviation, and retail. This reflects the natural complementarity of our economies and the confidence of our private sectors. We welcome the proposed Kenya-South Africa Business Council and commended the business forum convened alongside this visit, which turns commitment into commerce. We affirmed health, aviation, and education as strategic pillars of our shared development and as sectors that improve the well-being of our citizens, connects our people, and builds the human capital that will shape our continent's future. We commended the visa-free regime in place since 2023, which has measurably boosted tourism, trade, and cultural exchange between our two countries, and committed to resolving the outstanding challenges that remain. We were briefed in the earlier meeting that in 2025 alone, 58,000 arrivals were recorded from Kenya, signaling very robust engagement between our two countries. Today, during our bilateral discussions, the Ministry of Tourism of South Africa informed us that Kenyans visiting South Africa have increased by 18.7% since the introduction of the 90-day visa-free entry policy. This stands as a compelling evidence that when managed effectively, the movement of people across borders can create shared prosperity, strengthen ties between nations, and deliver tangible benefits for all. On peace and security, we reaffirmed that stability is the foundation of all development. We pledged sustained cooperation with the African Union, the United Nations, and other multilateral organizations united in the conviction that lasting peace is both a shared responsibility and a shared reward. As two of Africa's most influential voices, South Africa and Kenya are determined that our continent should shape global outcomes and not merely respond to them. Let me close with the standard against which I believe we must measure everything done in our meetings. That outcomes and impact will shape every commitment that we have signed and every MOU that has been signed here today. That is the standard, and I believe Kenya and South Africa, working together in honesty and determination, are fully capable of meeting. Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. President. I look forward to elevating our partnership to even greater heights for the mutual benefit of our two nations and our two peoples. I thank you.